What's up, guys? In this video, I want to just teach you guys really quickly how I called out and made a 70% return on a 350 play. These 350 plays are really consistent for me. Basically, what it is the market on close algorithm. So without further ado, let's get into it. The first thing to notice for 350 plays is a key draw on liquidity, right? So what we're going to focus on is the hourly chart on ES. And once we get into this will answer all your questions of why this play worked out and how you could have capitalized on it. So the first thing we want to look for is a key draw on liquidity. In this instance, it will be this high right here at 6106.25. This was left untouched in the AM session and the PM session up until around the last 10 minutes. So why was I bullish? First of all, well, we had swept these internal lows on ES. We've been pretty range bound this whole week. It's NFP week, so let's dive into it. We identified our key draw on liquidity. We wanted to be bullish. We had already swept the lows. We're going to look to aim for these internal highs right here, these range highs. So let's get into the SPY chart and let's get into the time of entry. And we're going to dive in on the 1 minute chart. So the first thing I want you guys to notice is, well, actually, before we go on the 1 minute chart, notice this. Notice this dump we had in the afternoon. We took out this swing low right here where we bounced from. Market trades down, takes out this low. Looks like a nasty sell-off. In this instance here, you have a 5 minute gap, bearish gap that got inverse. So we had to flip our bias. That's another confluence to flip our bias. So let's clean up the charts one more time. Now, we had swept these lows, as per mentioned, down here. This low was very key to sweep for the trading session. Once we sweep the lows, we'll look for a reversal, which would be this IFVG, inverse fair value gap. And we'll look to take out this pre-market high and basically this relative high of day right here. Notice how these two highs are relatively equal. They're within 15 cents of each other. So for this instance, we're going to focus on this pre-market high. Now, let's go into the time of alert. This alert came at 3:53. I post these on my Twitter all the time. I like to give out free signals. So let's go into the trade without further ado, right? Let's dive into the 350 market on close algorithm. So what I just want to mark out right here is let's mark this 350 time, which will come at this candlestick right here. So I'm just going to mark this as a horizontal line, vertical line, excuse me, for 350. This time is key to the market because I believe this is algorithmic, right? This little shaded area, these last 10 minutes of the trading day for the New York session. So let's dive into the options contract chart. This is one of my confluences. This is my key indicator when I trade. I don't use any indicators. I use naked charts, but this is my key indicator for entries, exits, strike prices, etc., etc. I want you guys to notice that on the 15-minute chart, this looks much cleaner, but I take my entries on the 1 minute and the 5 minute. So the 15-minute chart looked objectively bullish. We had inversed this bearish fair value gap right here. We had closed above it. Our bias is bullish. Now, when our bias is bullish, we have a lot of highs to take out. These highs will be your take profits and basically all of your targets. So see how they're stacked up over here. Let's get rid of these and let's go basically into the alert and how these premiums ran for 70% in about 3 minutes. So let's dive into it, guys. Now, the 350 candle comes here, that first initial pop. You can see on the contracts here, I was watching them. I was trying to get a fill around 50. These things popped all the way to 69. So what I like to do with all my option contracts is I like to mark out all the old highs of where I could take an entry and basically trim my contracts at. These are good levels to take some risk off and basically book some profits. So let's dive into the 1 minute chart where the entry came, and I'll show you guys exactly why I took this trade, right? So 1 minute, this is a 350 candle, pops very aggressively. We have liquidity resting above. It gave us no reason to short, so this was kind of a continuation play for 350 for me. Entry came at 353, right at this candle over here when I noticed that premiums were not only holding, but they were actually gaining value at 353. So the entry came at 55. Stop loss was a little bit looser today. I risked about 17 cents per contract. And what I want to see here is I want to see in the last 10 minutes, the market is always going to look to sweep liquidity during the last 10 minutes. Now, it's your job as a trader to identify whether they want to take out old highs or old lows. In this instance, we had a lot of confluence because we had already swept the lows. We had already invalidated two bearish gaps and actually inversed both of them. So this was more of a continuation play, just playing the trend and taking a safe bet with these contracts. Here's our entry, here's our stop loss. On the 5-minute, it's going to make much more sense too. Entry came at 53 as per the signal. Stop loss was 17 cents lower. Take the entry, take the first trim at 65, move up your stop loss. Next trim comes at 77. Next trim came around the 90 area, and at this point of the trade, we were just waiting on Amazon earnings, which actually just nuked the whole market. But in long story short, this is a simple way of how I take 350 plays. It's just the market on close algorithm. It's going to look to sweep either buy side liquidity or sell side liquidity. Now, use the tips I mentioned and just make a formidable choice as a trader of whether we're going to sweep old highs or whether we're going to sweep old lows. So more videos like this to come, more callouts like this to come. If you guys don't already do, follow my X at Rippy Mode with a 0. I post a lot of my plays there in real time. I like to give out free signals. So definitely drop me a follow, and I appreciate you guys. I hope you guys learned a thing or two. And I guess in 10 minutes or less, I just taught you the market on close algorithm, aka the 350 play. So take care, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Much love, guys. Appreciate you guys.